The City Council in Madison, Wisconsin has just passed a law protecting atheists from discrimination, making it the first city in the United States to do so. Now, there are some questions as to whether or not atheists need protection in a very liberal area like Madison, Wisconsin. However, there are those arguing that, there are religious people moving into the city, they're buying rental properties, and so we want to ensure that atheists don't get the short end of the stick for living here and practicing their non-religion.
Yeah. Well, so at a bare minimum, it's the most harmless thing in the world. There's no reason why anybody should disagree. Mm-hmm. Should you be able to discriminate against a person of any particular religion? Of course not. And does that include people who are non-religious? Obviously it includes them. Obviously you shouldn't be able to discriminate. Mm-hmm. So how could you possibly disagree? Isn't it funny that this is only the first time it's ever been passed?
I didn't know that. I didn't really realize it. But, oftentimes when we have these conversations, these philosophical conversations about religion and whether or not religion is under attack in the country, I always wonder, when are we going to finally focus on freedom from religion? There's always freedom of religion, which I believe in. You should be able to practice your religion as long as it's not harming other people. But I should also be able to practice no religion at all and not be discriminated against as a result of that. I should be able to live my life without having your religious doctrine dictate what I do. So I like that this is finally something that's being brought up. It's sad that it's the first city in the U.S. to do it.
So I have to admit some degree of bias here because this is the home of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and they helped in pushing this forward. And so did Todd Stiefel. I know Todd a little bit, and it's not a big deal, but I got an award from Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Not a big deal.
Okay. It's the Emperor Has No Clothes Award. Mm-hmm. I think when it says freedom of religion, to me, it's always been super obvious that it means whatever your religious beliefs happen to be, including atheism, agnosticism, whatever else that you might want to believe in. I find that so obvious. But I lived in a very secular culture. So I'm originally from Turkey. Now, my family was technically Muslim, but really the main culture was secular, right? That's because of Ataturk and stuff. So to me, the idea that church and state should be separate is so obvious that I'm always puzzled by people who think otherwise. So this whole idea, I didn't grow up in a world where being atheist, or at least in my subculture, maybe in other parts of Turkey they did, etc., right? And in other parts of America, when I grew up largely in New Jersey, right, after moving here at the age of 8, the whole idea that atheists are evil or they have some sort of pact with Satan, you missed the whole point. They don't believe in Satan. How can they have a pact with somebody that doesn't exist according to them? So, but that does exist.
It definitely exists. So if I wasn't able to look outside my own Los Angeles super liberal bubble, then I would look at something like this and be like, why do we need it? I mean, it's not like atheists are being disenfranchised in this country, but we're not in middle America, where a lot of them are. There are atheists who come out to their very religious family members and their families disown them. It's crazy, all the stories that you hear about.
And sometimes they get fired. Look, and we've had a lot of people come up to us in fan meetups, etc., where they tell us stories about how we gave them the courage to come out as non-theists. Again, it blows my mind because I didn't live in that context that would be a big deal. But you got to understand, atheists across the country are really discriminated against and have been for a long, long time. I mean, I'm amazed, but it takes real courage to come out of the closet on this issue. And we've heard it from our own audience. And so do they need some sort of protection? I think so. And I'm glad that Madison, Wisconsin went in this direction. I am always also endlessly amused by the idea that secular humanists are wrong. The O'Reillys of the world constantly attacking them. Who is anti-humanist? How do they say it with a straight face? These goddamn humanists in favor of the humans? Shouldn't we all be in favor of the humans? We live in such a crazy, crazy world. And in this world, yes, sane people need protection like this.